Happy 250th, America. Today's topic is Gen X, the Bicentennial Generation.
July 4th, 1976. America turned 200 years old. For most of the country, it was a big party. But for an entire generation of children, it became something deeper. A sensory-rich, psychologically formative experience that quietly shaped how we understood our country, our place in it, and ourselves. 50 years later, as the United States celebrates its Semiquincentennial, its 250th birthday, it's the perfect moment to revisit the kids who lived through the bicentennial. We call them Generation X. And today, many are calling them the Bicentennial Generation. The first question is, who were the bicentennial kids? They're born between the mid-1960s and early 1980s. Gen Xers were perfectly positioned. In 1976, the oldest among us were entering our teens, while the youngest were still toddlers. We weren't infants too young to remember, nor were we adults distracted by mortgages and careers. We were kids, impressionable, wide-eyed, and absorbing everything around us. We lived inside a year-long environmental immersion. Red, white, and blue bunting draped across main streets, school hallways lined with colonial flags and hand-drawn Liberty Bells, and neighborhoods transformed into living history exhibits. The air itself smelled like summer barbecues, fresh-cut grass, and fireworks smoke for weeks. Let's consider the psychological and environmental imprint. That experience wasn't just visual, it was deeply psychological and environmental. Environmentally, we were surrounded by a rare moment of unified national celebration. Parades with marching bands filled the streets with the sound of drums and brass. Fireworks lit up the night sky in explosive bursts of color, leaving the sharp scent of gunpowder lingering in the warm summer air. Television sets glowed with specials featuring tall ships sailing into harbors and celebrities narrating the nation's story. In classrooms, we sang patriotic songs, built dioramas of Independence Hall, and collected bicentennial.
Click subscribe button as we proceed.
Let's drive deep in the psychological and environmental imprint. That experience wasn't just visual. It was deeply psychological and environmental, varying by region yet united in spirit. In Pennsylvania, especially around Philadelphia, Gen X kids stood near Independence Hall and the Liberty Bell, feeling the weight of history in the same places where the Declaration was signed. The air carried the scent of street food and summer crowds as parades wound through historic streets lined with colonial flags. In New York, tall ships sailed into New York Harbor during Operation Sail, creating an unforgettable spectacle. Children on rooftops or along the waterfront watched massive sailing vessels glide past the Statue of Liberty, fireworks exploding overhead. A sensory explosion of light, sound, and salt air that imprinted a sense of awe and national grandeur. Down south, in states like Virginia, Georgia, and Texas, small-town parades featured marching bands, veterans in uniform, and families gathered under live oaks or wide-open skies. The smell of barbecue and fireworks lingered for days, while school programs emphasized local revolutionary history, reinforcing a personal connection to America's story. In the Midwest, Illinois, Ohio, and Michigan, neighborhoods transformed with red, white, and blue bunting on front porches. Kids rode bikes through streets closed for block parties, collecting bicentennial quarters and feeling a strong sense of community, belonging amid the drum beats and evening firework displays. Even in the West, in California and Colorado, celebrations blended pioneer spirit with patriotic fervor. Mountain towns held festivals, and coastal communities hosted beachside fireworks that lit up the Pacific. Psychologically, this nationwide environmental immersion during critical developmental years created powerful, lasting associations. The constant sensory cues, the sight of flags everywhere, the sound of anthems and marching bands, the communal excitement, fostered a deep sense of security, optimism, and civic identity. Many Gen Xers developed an internalized patriotism rooted in joy rather than ideology, a visceral feeling of belonging to something enduring and worthwhile. These shared rituals strengthened social cohesion and resilience. At a time of national transition, the bicentennial provided an emotional anchor, wiring into our psyches the belief that America was worth celebrating, flaws and all. That early imprint helps explain why so many in the bicentennial generation maintain a pragmatic, grounded love of country even amid later cynicism and division. Let's dive into the echoes 50 years later. Now, in 2026, the bicentennial generation is in its prime. We notice how different today's fragmented environment feels compared to the unified national sensory experience of 1976. Yet that psychological foundation remains strong. An internal compass shaped by parades in Pennsylvania, tall ships in New York, Southern barbecues, Midwestern block parties, and Western fireworks. As parents and grandparents, we seek to pass on that same sense of belonging and shared pride to the next generation during this 250th milestone. Personal reflection/call to action. If you're a Gen Zer watching this, share your own state-specific memories in the comments. What did the bicentennial feel like in your town, in Pennsylvania, Texas, California, Ohio, or wherever you grew up? Which sights, sounds, or feelings still stay with you? And if you're from another generation, know this. Many Gen Zers carry a deep, experientially rooted affection for America, formed through the rich psychological and environmental tapestry of 1976. As America turns 250, let's honor the spirit of that year, not with nostalgia alone, but with renewed commitment to the shared experiences and ideals worth celebrating. Conclusion and reflection. The bicentennial generation didn't just witness America's 200th birthday. We internalized it psychologically, environmentally, and emotionally. And 50 years later, in the summer of 2026, that inheritance still matters deeply. From the bustling streets of New York, where tall ships filled the harbor and fireworks painted the sky over the Statue of Liberty, to the nation's capital in Washington, where grand parades and official ceremonies reminded every child present of their connection to the founding ideals. In Chicago, along the shores of Lake Michigan, families gathered for lakefront celebrations filled with music, food, and a shared sense of Midwestern pride and resilience. Out in California, beach bonfires and coastal fireworks created magical nights that blended the pioneering spirit of the West with deep patriotic emotion. Down in Georgia, Southern hospitality met historic reverence in town squares draped in red, white, and blue, while Florida communities, from Miami to the Panhandle, turned beaches and parks into vibrant patriotic gatherings under the warm summer skies. These weren't isolated events. They formed a tapestry that stretched across the entire nation, from the original colonies in the Northeast, through the heartland of America, all the way to the Pacific shores and the Gulf Coast. Whether you grew up in a quiet small town in the Midwest, a vibrant southern city like Atlanta in Georgia, a dynamic metropolis like New York or Chicago, or sun-drenched neighborhoods in California and Florida, the bicentennial left its mark on the Gen X psyche. Psychologically, those experiences gave us an enduring internal compass. The sensory richness, the crackle of fireworks in the night air, the rhythm of marching bands echoing down main streets, the sight of neighbors coming together regardless of background, instilled in us a profound sense of belonging and optimism. We learned early that patriotism could be joyful, communal, and deeply personal all at once. That foundation helped many of us develop resilience and pragmatic idealism that has carried us through decades of change, economic shifts, cultural transformations, and national challenges. Today, as we watch America celebrate its 250th anniversary, the bicentennial generation stands as a bridge. We are the parents, professionals, leaders, and community members who remember what unified national pride feels like. We remember how New York's harbor shimmered, how Washington's monuments glowed, how Chicago's lakefront pulsed with energy, how California's creativity met tradition, and how Georgia and Florida brought warmth and heart to the festivities. Those memories remind us that America's strength has always come from its people, from coast to coast, in big cities and small towns alike. So as we mark this semiquincentennial, let us draw on that 1976 spirit. Let us recommit to the values of unity, gratitude, and civic participation that shaped us as children. Let us create new memories for our own children and grandchildren. Memories filled with shared celebrations, honest conversations about our history, and hope for the future. If you're a Gen Zer watching this, I invite you to reflect and share in the comments. What did the bicentennial mean to you in your state? Did you watch the tall ships in New York? Join a lakeside celebration in Chicago? Experience Southern pride in Georgia or beachside fireworks in Florida? How did those moments in California, Washington, or your own hometown shape the adult you became? Your stories matter. They are part of the living history of the Bicentennial Generation, a generation that still carries the light of 1976 in our hearts. To every viewer, regardless of your generation or where you call home, thank you for joining this journey down memory lane. As America turns 250, may we all find inspiration in the spirit of 76, that powerful blend of pride, community, and possibility that once lit up an entire nation. The kids of the Bicentennial are now the stewards of its legacy. Let's honor it well. Happy 250th America from the Bicentennial Generation. Thank you for watching. If this resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and share your own memories below. Happy 250th America from the kids of 76. Have a nice day from Wrought in Stillness.